Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to study Chapter 6 The Eyes Are Not Here by Ruskin Bond from your SSLC 10th Standard First Language English textbook Part 2. This lesson beautifully explores the life of physically challenged people, especially those who are visually impaired. The story takes place during a train journey and shows how true understanding, emotions, and imagination are more powerful than eyesight. Now, let me introduce you to the characters. The first character is the narrator, a blind young man, sensitive and imaginative. The next character is the girl, polite, cheerful, and also blind. The next character are parents, caring and protective. The next character is aunt, responsible guardian. The next character is new fellow traveler, reveals the surprise ending. Now let's begin with the first part, beginning of the journey. The narrator is traveling alone in a train compartment. At Rohana station, a girl enters the compartment. Her parents see her off and give her many instructions showing their concern. The narrator is totally blind, so he cannot see the girl. He identifies her presence through sound, especially her slippers and voice. He admits that he may never know how she looks, but he already likes her voice. For an example, a blind person often recognizes family members by voice, footsteps, or smell, not by face. This shows how other senses become stronger. The next part is first interaction and inner thoughts. The narrator starts a conversation by asking about her destination. The girl is surprised because she did not notice anyone else in the compartment. The narrator reflects deeply that people with eyesight often fail to notice important things. When blind people focus only on essentials, he worries whether she might discover his blindness and decides to stay seated. Let me give you an example for this. Many people scroll on phones and fail to notice a sad friend nearby, but someone who listens carefully may understand emotions better. The next part is talking about places. The girl says she is getting down at Saharanpur. The narrator jokingly mentions that aunts are usually strict. He says he is going to Masuri and describes it beautifully, flowers, sunshine, log fires, using his memory, not sight. This shows his rich imagination. For an example, a person who has lost sight can still describe their childhood home vividly from memory, proving imagination never dies. The next part is the risky question. The narrator accidentally asks what it is like. This could reveal his blindness, but the girl innocently asks him to look out of the window. He pretends to observe the scenery using sound and imagination, like trees appearing to move while the train moves. For an example, actors sometimes pretend confidence even when nervous, similar to how the narrator hides his blindness. The next part is growing emotional bond. They sit quietly, enjoys each other's presence. The narrator compliments her face, calling it interesting. The girl laughs and enjoys their phrase. Through he tries to laugh, the narrator feels lonely inside, knowing the journey and connection will soon end. Let me give you an example for this. Sometimes we enjoy talking to strangers on a journey, knowing we may never meet them again. The next part is the farewell. The train reaches Saharanpur. The girl prepares to leave. The narrator senses her presence through the perfume of her hair, which stays even after she leaves. He compares this to the lingering scent of roses even when the flowers are gone. For an example, a loved one perfume on clothes often bring back memories long after they leave. The next part is after she leaves. A new man enters the compartment. The narrator feels alone again but prepares himself for another interaction. He reflects that guessing the outside world is a fascinating game for him, even though he cannot see. For an example, blind people often enjoy imagining sounds like guessing who is speaking nearby. The next part is the twist ending. The new fellow traveler says the narrator must be disappointed. The narrator asks about the girl's hair. The man replies that he did not notice her hair, only her eyes. Then comes the shock, the girl was completely blind too. This reveals the irony of the title, The Eyes Are Not Here. Let me give you an example for the students. Two people may share the same struggle but never realize it, just like students silently facing similar fears. Students, now let's see what is the conclusion. This story teaches us that true vision lies in understanding, imagination, and sensitivity, not in eyesight. Both characters are blind, yet they connect deeply, proving that human emotions are stronger than physical limitation. Students, now let's see what is the moral of the story. Physical disability is not a weakness. True beauty lies beyond appearance. People who cannot see may understand life more deeply. Human connection does not need eyes, it needs empathy. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and do comment. See you in the next class. Until then, bye.